I remember the summer of 1990 with a strange kind of clarity. The feeling of warm carpet under my bare feet in our semi-detached house. My father had a steady job at a local engineering firm. A job for life, he used to say. My mother stayed at home and our days were predictable, safe. The world outside felt distant, something seen on the evening news but never truly touching us. Our street was a quiet row of brick houses, each with a family car and a neatly trimmed lawn. The house was the centre of our universe. 3 bedrooms, a garden, a garage filled with my dad's tools. His mortgage was manageable, on a single salary. Life was about fixing the fence, planning a holiday, saving for a bigger television. The ladder of progress felt sturdy, each rung within reach. My parents' generation believed, work hard, be sensible, and society will provide stability. You could raise a family on one wage, pay off your home, expect your children to do better. That sense of security was the air we breathed, unquestioned, unnoticed. My dad worried about the law, not about losing his job or his pension. I stepped into adulthood from this place of warmth, unaware the ladder ahead was built to a different design. I left for university in the autumn of 1998. My parents drove me to campus, car packed with boxes and hope, but that year something fundamental shifted. My cohort was the first to face tuition fees. Education, once a public good, was now a commodity, a transaction. The idea of starting my working life in debt was entirely new. My father's tuition had been free with a government grant. For me, student loans became a quiet hum in the background, growing each year. Part-time jobs were now a necessity, not just extra pocket money. We were told a degree was the key to a better life, but now the key came with a price tag. We were investing in ourselves, but it felt like a gamble. The old path, school, university, job, house, now had a toll booth at the start. When I graduated, my student loan was over £10,000. To my parents, this was a shocking burden. I wasn't starting from zero, but from a deficit. The first rung of the ladder was already below ground. The optimism of my childhood was now tempered by a new awareness. By the early 2000s, my partner and I had good jobs and saved diligently. We dreamed of buying a home like our parents had, but the housing market had become a runaway train. Modest houses now cost 10 times what our parents paid. Our hard-earned deposit barely covered 10%. We joined queues at viewings, walking through cozy rooms, the numbers never adding up. Banks offered reckless mortgages, 4-5 times our income. We needed help from our parents, who were bewildered we couldn't do it alone. Their gift was an act of love, but also a quiet admission. The ladder was now out of reach without a boost. The dream of homeownership was no longer something you could achieve on your own. The rungs had grown further apart. The house we finally bought with our parents' help changed our lives. We had the keys, the garden, but not the security we expected. The mortgage stretched us thin. 2 incomes were the minimum to stay afloat. The single-earner household of my childhood was a relic. Our days became a careful dance of work and chores with no slack in the system. If one of us got sick, the budget strained. Conversations about children were always about money. Could we afford it? Among friends, family help was a quiet theme. Deposits, childcare, support. We were supposed to be more independent, but we were more reliant than ever. It wasn't a failure of character, but of the economic landscape. We had more technology, but less security. The peace of mind my father had was gone. Our prosperity was fragile, built on borrowed money and family generosity. We were running faster just to stay in the same place. The world of work was unrecognizable from my father's. He had a job for life. We had contracts, reorganizations, and constant CV updates. Loyalty was a one-way street and job security a ghost. My father had a defined benefit pension, a promise of security. Ours were defined contribution pots invested in the market, their value a mystery. We became individual investors bearing all the risk. The stress seeped into home life. a low-level hum of uncertainty. Pension statements brought dread, not comfort. The language of volatility and risk became part of our daily lives. The solid ground of the past was gone, replaced by shifting sands. We were responsible for everything, in control of almost nothing. The mortgage, rising costs, and precarious jobs mounted pressure. Retirement was a gamble, not a promise. The modern contract, more choice, more risk, fewer safety nets. The protections of previous generations, unions, stable employers, state pensions, had been dismantled. We were left exposed, navigating a complex world alone. The autumn of 2008 felt like the floor gave way. Years of low-grade anxiety became a terrifying reality as the financial crisis hit. News of collapsing banks and plunging markets quickly reached our quiet street. Our pension pots shrank overnight. Statements showed our future security evaporating. At work, redundancies and department closures bred fear. We worked longer hours, hoping not to be next. The fragile security we built dissolved. Our house value fell. We owed more than it was worth. The ladder we'd climbed was kicked out from under us. Costs rose, salaries froze, and we were squeezed from all sides. The optimism of the 90s felt naive. The crash shattered our sense of safety and confirmed our fears. The system was not stable. The world no longer felt predictable or orderly. The gentle upward slope of my parents' era had become a cliff edge. Today, in the garden of the house we fought to buy, I watch my 8-year-old daughter play. She is the same age I was in 1990, her world seemingly safe and comfortable. But I feel a deep, quiet worry for her future. Will she afford university, a home? Will there be any safety nets left? The anxieties of my generation are now the backdrop to my parenthood. The ladder is still there, but the rungs are further apart. The wood worn. My parents gave me security. I can only give her awareness and resilience. The contract has changed. The promise of a better future replaced by hope she can simply hold on. She calls for a push on the swing, and for a moment the worries fade. But as she soars, I see the metaphor. I'm pushing her toward a future I can't control. All I can do is give her the strongest push I can and hope she finds a secure place to land.